Hey everybody, and welcome back to my Detroit Pistons rebuild. We are here on NBA trade deadline day. There are some crazy moves happening in the real world, like James Harden and Ben Simmons getting swapped for each other. So I just got the bug. I got to get back in here and work with these Pistons. So speaking of trading, I'm going to head over to the trade players screen and I'm going to make sure I list any player I don't feel like is part of our future. So that's basically going to be anybody not named Cade Cunningham. So let's get everybody on the block because we should be willing to wheel and deal as much as possible. There is nothing for us worth hanging on to. It would be interesting to see if there's any interest around the league for some of our veterans, but I can't imagine. Like someone like Kelly Olynyk making 12 mil, there's no way. Oh, very interesting. Actually, you know what? It's kind of funny. The Bucks show up. They like to run their 5-out offense in real life, so he would fit pretty well there. I wonder if we could pull up Milwaukee and see if they have an offer for us. Oh, see, they're offering us Jrue Holiday in return for Kelly Olynyk in a second rounder. Obviously, Jrue Holiday's a much, much better player. One issue I do have with this screen is you can't click on the player to pull up their ratings, which is a little annoying. But just looking at his statistics, he's averaging 17, 6.5 assists, 5 boards. I mean, legit player. In a vacuum, would I make this trade? Yes, of course. But to keep it realistic, this is a deal that would never, ever, ever happen. So I'm going to make sure I do not accept this. I'm going to remove that 2022. Who else is interested? Miami. He was in Miami before. Atlanta's an interesting stop too. We'll take a look, see what's out there. Not feeling it right now, Atlanta. Take one more swing. Nah. Alright, well, we'll put them on the trade block and see if anything comes our way. So we ended the last episode talking about Cade Cunningham and how his effectiveness has not really been there so far. And that's because if we take a look at his ratings, for those of us who maybe didn't stick around to the end, so he's our best player. Let's filter. So here's Cade, and notice his endurance rating is at 2, which is down near the bottom of our team roster. Also super low is Isaiah Stewart, who we are playing a lot of minutes as well. It would be interesting to see what his numbers look like at this point. So he still is. He's shooting 55% from the floor. Oh, no, excuse me. In this season, 45% from the floor. Shooting a few threes, which is kind of weird. Not really what we want to see. Averaging 7.5, 8.3. He's probably playing too many minutes to make him as effective as possible. So let's get into that depth chart. We're going to have to sprinkle out. So, yeah, Cade is playing 38 minutes a night. Isaiah Stewart is at 34. So we're going to have to see Luka Garza. And, I'm not going to give him huge breaks. I still want to get Isaiah Stewart on the floor as much as possible. So maybe we'll just a spot break there. Finish out the first half. Again, another spot break here. Maybe we'll give him a little bit of rest there. I do want him to play a little bit more to start the second half, so let's go this way. So he's still at 30 minutes, but that's all right. Killian Hayes is probable, so he is playing. So maybe we get him a few more minutes. Who else do we have at point guard? Corey Joseph. You know what? He's not in our plans, so I don't even want to waste my time playing him. So I do find it super interesting having Cade playing some power forward. So let's get Killian Hayes some more minutes up front. See, like, this is a decent stretch of minutes for Cade Cunningham to be playing all in a row, especially with that endurance. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in a row. So let's take that down a notch. And, you know, I do notice that Killian Hayes is playing 12 in a row, but there is that quarter break in the middle, so I'm thinking he should be all right. I'm sure his endurance is not extremely high as well. Yeah, he's a young player, but playing 6 minutes, quarter break, 6 minutes, he might be all right. We're down to 32 minutes. Give Hayes another minute there. So we did drop him by 8 minutes. Nothing crazy, but we do want to reduce the load on our young point guard. So we'll give that a whirl. Let's head over to the sim. We are on November 19th. So you know what? Let's bring it to Christmas. Let's see if we can get down to Christmas without anything crazy happening. So just a note before we start this sim, we are currently sitting at 4-11, I believe. Let's check the standings. See how this stretch goes. Excuse me, 4-12. 4-12. So let's play to Christmas. See how this works. See if we can catch fire, or if we continue our poor play, then maybe next episode we really hit that trade machine and see what we can come up with. So we didn't make it too far before we hit a snag, as looks like Kelly Olynyk is now out for 16 days. Now, so they just implemented this in a patch for Pro Basketball 22. So what used to be super annoying is if I were to swap Kelly Olynyk out for another player, I would then have to go through and individually click through all of their minutes to change them. But they added this new option at the top. So if I click this option to swap the depth charts and minutes together, I don't have to individually change all of their minutes. So I'm going to click on that. We're going to have to go small because I don't want to start Stewart and Garza, and I'm really not interested in playing Trey Lyles at all. So I think we're going to slide Grant to the 4, and notice how Jeremy Grant, all of his minutes get swapped with all of Kelly Olynyk's minutes. So I'm going to bring in Josh Jackson. Yeah, this is ugly. So now I'm going to uncheck this so we can try to tinker with this lineup a little bit. So I think what's going to happen here is we're going to see a lot more Cade Cunningham power forward minutes. So let's try to fill in the blanks here. So whenever Jeremy Grant is not on the floor at power forward, that means Cade will be playing power forward. So there's all of our power forward minutes. Our centers are good. We have quite a lot of small forward minutes to go around. So because Olynyk is soaking those up right now. Yeah, I mean, Josh Jackson's already at 30, Diallo at 26. Sadiq Bey's at 26. So let's give Bey a few more minutes. Another notch there. And then obviously I want to take some of those minutes off of Cade Cunningham as well. I just don't want to destroy him so early in his career. So I've got 10 Olynyk minutes I got to get rid of. Ah, man. The depth on this team is scary. So I think what's going to have to happen here is we're going to give those to Trey. So let's switch Trey Lyles, Kelly Olynyk. And then I will swap trade a power forward. So whoever's playing power forward is going to swap with Trey Lyles. That's okay. All right, we might be able to roll with that. Again, Cade is at 38 minutes. Don't want to see that. So we're going to take, let's get Corey Joseph some burn. Give Killian Hayes another tick. All right, so get Cade down to 30 minutes. Isaiah Stewart also at 30 minutes. So, hey, let's see what we've got here. Looks like everybody is good to go. All right, let's see if we can. So it was a 16-day injury on Olynyk. Yes, 16. So, all right, let's sim 16 days. Hopefully we don't suffer any more injuries. And then we can bring KO back into the lineup. I should have saved and stored that lineup to make it a little bit easier. Not quite sure why we just stopped inbox. Here we go. This is why. Trade rumor. Yeah, yes you are. But we're not able to answer it. So no reason to stop if you're not going to let me answer that email. All right, 13 days. Let's go. Okay, let's see where we get. Man, the losses are piling in. Here we go. Another injury. Josh Jackson goes down. Oh boy, this is going to test our wing depth. So 12 more days for him, 12 more days for KO. We are scary thin. So it looks like we may have to move Cade off the ball pretty much for good until we get some depth back. So let's slide Cade to the 3. Hayes into the starting lineup. We're going to have to get Corey Joseph some burn, and even a guy like Frank Jackson's going to have to play a little bit. So let's see. What do they suggest here? All right, well, I don't hate it. I might take Stewart down a notch there, but other than that, what are we going to do? Okay. Can we get further than 3 days? We have a team incident. This team loves each other. Luka Garza and Trey Lyles have been exchanging tweets. Awesome. Well, not that I care about either of them. Killian Hayes on the trade block. I'll admit it. And it works. Helps increase his effort and attitude. Sure. Jeremy Grant. Sure thing. He's saying for you. Play yourself into more value, please. All right. 11 days. Can we get there without something happening? Oh, not the All-Star break, excuse me. Let's go. Hey, a rare win. What do you know? You know what it is? All these trade block players are going to bring in these rumors. Rodney Magruder, sure. You know what? I'm going to... Let's see, how many days? I'm going to shut off the email. So 8 days. Play in sim. I think there's an option up here. Stop sim on action email. I don't want to do that. So 8 days. Let's do it. Milwaukee sneaks by. 5-18. We are struggling. But we knew that was going to happen when we took this job. We need to rebuild. So it'll be interesting to see what deals we can make as we approach the trade deadline. So we have a couple emails we didn't stop on. Rookie of the month, Cade Cunningham, your boy. 19 a game. To be honest, I expected to see him be a stronger rebounder and passer this early in his career, but you want to average 19 a night, go for it. And we knew last episode he was struggling. It seems like he's brought his shooting percentage up a little bit, 37%. His three-point percentage is going up as well. Look how many he's taken above the break. Wow. I wonder how much better his corner three ball is compared to his above the break. And those of you guys don't know the engine all that well, we do have these floor ranges that players will typically play. There's the post, the mid-range, the corner three, and the above the break three. So as you can see, he's a point guard, so he wants to be above the break running the offense. He's there 53% of the time. He's only in the corner 5% of the time. So I wonder, and that is such a small sample size, but you see that he's shooting 50% from the corners, but still above the break, he's still shooting lights out, especially from the top and the left side. Again, super small sample size, but I wonder if we need to start tinkering with his floor areas or his ball actions to try to get a little bit more out of him. But hey, Rookie of the Month, to be expected if you're the number one pick, so we'd like to see that. Corey Joseph's on the trade block. We didn't respond to them. It's not that big of a deal because they're not really worth talking about. Okay, Saban Lee in the D-League is now broken for 4 days. Oh, he's probable. It's fine. We do have our roster back intact with Kelly Olynyk and Josh Jackson fully healthy on the same day, which is nice. But I do want to go back and check to see, how do we look with Cade playing the 3? So we'll go into the schedule, look at the last couple games. How do we look? Jeremy Grant at the 4 played pretty well. You know what? What I want to do is maybe we'll just go into individual game logs here. So for the last couple, look, I mean, he's playing a ton of minutes. He's a veteran. We need to lean on him. It looks to be very erratic. What his field goal percentage is, they had 38%. Pretty poor. Love to move him for anything. Draft pick, young player, anything. Game log for Cade. Again, tons of minutes. I mean, it's just so hard not to play him, unfortunately. But playing closer to the basket at the small forward position, obviously his rebound numbers have gone up. Steals look great. Turnovers are above what you would like to see, but he is young, so part of the growing pains. And I'd be interested to see how Killian Hayes has played in his starts. So the little check marks tell us he started these games. Obviously a negative player. I would assume most of our guys are negative on a nightly basis because we're not very good. Shooting pretty well from beyond the arc in his starts, and pretty poorly overall, unfortunately. Although a 9 rebound game is pretty impressive, 8 assist game, but he is just a little underwhelming, unfortunately. So clearly no wins over the last few games, but in Sadiq Bey, I want more. I just want more from him. He shoots a lot of threes. He shoots a lot, actually. What do his actions look like? His passes at 70%, which is pretty low. And, his passing ability is so poor that I really don't want him to drive and pass. So I might look at training that out of him and get him to do catch and shoot a little bit more. So why don't we do that? Let's get into our strategy. We'll have Sadiq Bey do a little something. We'll end it there. So Bey, for 1 month, I want you to catch and shoot more because I want him to be a floor spacer from beyond the arc and at the expense of drive and pass. I don't want you to pass. How many coaches tell a player you don't want them to pass? That's fine. All right, we are sitting at 5-19. we've got to be near the bottom of the entire league. So we're clearly two full games behind the Cavs for bottom in the East, tied with the Oklahoma City Thunder for worst record in the league. So it's clear we are playing for lotto position this year. Maybe next episode we sim a few games and then we really start to hit that trade market. See if we can move some of the veterans, get off some cash, and make some moves for the future. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.